And welcome to another edition of the SHIB TV Live Broadcasting Network. Fantastic to have every single one of you come in and have a great and wonderful show for you tonight. We're going to talk about the news, latest and greatest news and events in SHIB. If anyone's noticed, we had jumped 20% in 2 days in the last 48 hours. That's right, 21% roughly. 20.6, 21, close enough. Jump. Now we are back down to about 9 to 10% from our all-time highs, but we've noticed we lost a whole bunch of what? Shorters, right? So a lot of people got liquidated today because of what? The massive jump in SHIB. So what happens is people got liquidated. They had to cover those short positions that they had in SHIB, and we lost about 2,000 wallet holders. So there was 2,000 shorts positions in SHIB. That was a short squeeze. We call it short squeeze. So anyone shorting SHIB better check their go-to, because SHIB is about to erupt, right? We know that? No, we don't. So this isn't financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not a broker. Nor to be your broker or financial analyst, we'd have to set up ground rulings on everything. So I would need to know your financial situation on everything that we do. So, but we don't. This is a YouTube. This is educational purposes only. Are we expecting big moves in SHIB? Yes, we are. When are they going to happen? That's a good question. Only because of what? Reduction in circulating supply. Anywhere and anyone can do it. What does that mean for you and I? That means it's a big eye-opener for the entire world. It's a huge eye-opener. Less supply, more demand. Think of it like making mantle or art or your house. Devinder, not deliver. Okay, so we don't want to say that. Devinder, Diego, everyone's important. Everyone's important. And that's the truth of it. So if you don't feel that you're important, you're absolutely important. And mass love show to you. PS1. PS1, how are you? So yeah, we're going to bring you the latest and greatest. As of December the 3rd, U.S. Federal Reserve, quarter point reduction in interest rates. Yay! Woo, 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 woo. So we had some great news. What happened? Right after the news came out, sell off. I have to laugh because Bitcoin, when the federal government said that they weren't going to reduce any more through the year, what happened? Everybody sold off instantly. Bitcoin was at $105,000, right? And then they made that announcement. Everybody sold off all the way down to 88, 87,000 in Bitcoin. SHIB dropped like a stone. SHIB went down all the way down. Everybody shorted the whole marketplace. What happened? They came out and they reduced 25 basis points. What does everybody do? They get stuck. Everybody that was shorting panicked. They created fear in the marketplace, trying to hopefully convince enough people to start selling their positions instantly. A lot of people did, but not everybody. They weren't fooled, which is awesome. But we're a long ways from where we were before. 11, 40s 11, 40s 12, in that range before the announcement was that they weren't going to do any more cuts this year. Well, they did another cut, and then they were trying to feed the fear, trying to bring the market to them, because they were fearful that they're going to get short squeezed, and that's exactly what happened. They're getting short squeezed. So you're going to be seeing Bitcoin go back up to 110, roughly, in the next couple of days, and SHIB should go to 13, 14 easily. 40 13. So because everybody was selling the fear, and they're convincing everybody that, hey, listen, the Federal Reserve is done decreasing the rates, but what they see is more uncertainty in the marketplace, especially when it comes to unemployment. They're not worried about tariffs anymore. Notice that, eh? The tariffs are a very small portion of what they're talking about. but the Federal Reserve should have cut 50 basis points. I absolutely agree with that. Only because they need to boost the economy. They need to boost the economy. So you have to open up the floodgates a little bit, let people spend money. Now they're saying people are spending money. Yes, but on what exactly? On homes or their bills? What are they spending money on, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, they're spending money. So as long as they're, yeah, but the problem is as long as the consumer is constantly spending money, the economy is doing very well. But it's not. It's slowing down. They're still spending money, but it's slowing down. So that's risk off strategy when they have that. So, and the stock market's based on risk on assets, not risk off assets. That's why they want the Fed to do more work